watching him, kind of also being a part of this fraternity of coaches, kind of showed you about who he is as a coach?
Yeah, well, first of all, he's always been incredibly nice to me. And we got a little closer connection in China when we were both there in the World Cup, talking about the tournament going on there. But just like, for me, as a somewhat younger coach, I guess, coming up watching his great Spurs teams, religiously and studying them, not just watching and enjoying like the world was, but studying and recording games and rewinding and watching a lot of what they did. And I thought they really certainly brought sharing the ball movement, kind of beautiful thing to watch type of game to the world there for a while. So that was fun to study, that's for sure, and fun to learn from.
What do you think goes into consistency? I mean, you look at the Spurs organization probably a couple years back, yes, but for a stretch, there's the expectation of winning, right, when it comes to that franchise.
Yeah.
What does it take from a coach to set that type of culture?
Well, I think that there are probably a couple things. I think you've got to create a culture or a place that people want to be. Players want to stay, namely, right? That you can keep a group of players together year after year because, like for me, I can't even fathom what it must be like to have like half your team together for 3, 4, 5, 6 years and how advanced you can get on wrinkles to counters to plays and wrinkles and things like that have been growing, I mean, I do it now. I'll say in a timeout, hey, let's run this play from 4 years ago, and I'll look up and Freddie goes, yeah, I got you, and everybody else is like, huh? So that's one thing. Some continuity with players. That's certainly, but again, creating that structure or infrastructure or whatever you want to call it, that they do want to stay together. Two is then the closer related would be player development, right? Getting players, improving players. They've had a tremendous history of improving shooters, and a lot of guys have gotten better shooting the basketball that's fit into their system, and I think those two things would be the key.
I mean, lastly for me, it's been, I guess, a pretty interesting week for yourself. You just saw Coach K,
yeah.
And of course you have this opportunity with Pop.
Yeah.
When you take a step back and zoom out when it comes to the legacy work and the legacy conversation, what makes guys like that so great? What do you strive for as a coach when it comes to that?
Yeah, I am smiling here a little bit. I kind of scratch my head and wonder how I wound up in some of these situations. I mean, right, like basketball is my total passion, and to be kind of in the middle of some really iconic moments is interesting. I saw an article this morning. One of my best friends just got named ACC Coach of the Year at Wake Forest, and the title of the article was, he's from Lone Tree, Iowa, a population of about probably 1,000 people or less. And the title of it was From Gravel Road to Tobacco Road. So I didn't grow up on a gravel road, but really small towns, and to be, in part of this stuff, it's cool. It's for me, it's cool. Those guys are, I think, very similar in their longevity, incredible toughness, adherence to fundamentals, hard work. Did I say competitiveness yet? I mean, they've so I think it's interesting, like, to me, that is probably one of the third thing I forgot on why did they win, the players and the culture, but the when the ball goes up, the starting to compete, I think that goes directly to your team, and it influences their desire to compete too.
Perfect. Thank you.
I was just going to ask what your priorities were today in practice. This one day here.
Yeah, really, we're still in a reorganization mode. I think that get a lot of just where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing, and then if we change the lineup, now where you're supposed to be, and now what are you supposed to be doing, type of things, and I think we'll be that for a minute. It's good, Fred was back out there. That certainly, again, stops a lot of the shifting, right? Shifting, like, again, I know there's only 2 guys out, but it seems like 4 guys shift, and every time we make a sub, then they reshift, and that's just tough, and it's tough. It's tougher now because we actually kind of had a taste of being super organized. I mean, like super old. You know, there was a stretch there where not only did we know our basic foundational stuff, we were into late game stuff with 3 counters to everyone, and it's like we're so far away from that right now that it's like, you know, it almost makes it a little harder knowing that you were just doing it a month ago. So it's okay. We'll get there, but that was the focus, just reorganization of where to go and how to execute the stuff and do it in a timely manner with some pace and decisiveness.
Okay.
Yep.